Hello everybody, we are playing Magic the Gathering Arena. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is your host Travis, known as Tpull on the Arena. And today the deck that we have assembled is called Attempted Power. And what I've been seeing a lot from mono red decks is the Goblin Warrior Fireblade Charger. He comes up so many times. When he dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So I thought maybe let's go ahead and just pile some artifacts into this deck and attach them to the Fireblade Charger, and inevitably we're going to lose them, right? So at least we'll be able to deal some damage. That's what I started with and sort of constructed around that as a shell. Let's go ahead and run through the deck. 16 creatures, 22 lands. Relatively cheap, 1.9 cost. And out of the lands we have 2 Den of the Bugbears. For 4 mana, the land becomes a 3/2 red goblin creature and creates a little red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking, so that's kind of cool. For things to outfit the Fireblade Charger with, we have Bolts of Speed to give him haste. We got the Great Axe. It costs 5 to equip, but when we do, it gives him +4. Leather Armor gives you +1 for toughness and ward 1. Shadow Spear to give them trample and lifelink, and Team Pennant to give them vigilance and trample. So we got 2 different things to give our creatures trample if we manage to get their power up. In here we also have 3 Tajiro Blight Blades. It's usually just to try and help us survive, you know, just chump blockers with Death Touch. I've had occasions where I've had just 1 creature with Death Touch hold off an entire army of more than a dozen creatures, so it's kind of hilarious sometimes. We also have Blizzard Brawl with a bunch of snow-covered forests and mountains. So the Blight Blade we can use, make him indestructible, and then use the Death Touch to knock out a 5/5 or 6/6 creature. We have Armory Veteran. If he gets equipped, he has Menace. A couple of Cinderclasms to take out the swarm of small creatures that is always attacking us all the time these days, because more than 50% of the people playing Magic are playing very fast decks with cheap cards. Fire Prophecy to take out creatures as well. Omen of the Forge to flash it in, do 2 damage to any target. 2 Scorching Sunfires to exile the creatures if I'm afraid they're going to try and resurrect them. 1 Shredded Sails for artifacts or creatures with flying. 3 Elysian Caryatids to help fix our mana if we need to, because we've got green and red. If we get a really impressive creature, we just transform him into an elk creature with Kenra's Transformation. 2 Mirror Shields. This is mostly intended for the Fireblade Charges when we can, so that they can't be targeted. It makes them 1/3 creatures, and Death Touch is no longer a problem, right? Whenever a creature with Death Touch blocks them, we just destroy that creature. And then hopefully if we're keeping the creature around, we can start building up his power after that. Also, 1 copy of Wings of Hubris so that we can give somebody flying, and maybe if we're dealing against a mostly landlocked deck like green, pure green decks can sometimes be landlocked, then we can fly over the head and deal the damage. This card is kind of like our once in a blue moon savior with Fireblade Charger, but it's got a drawback. Okay, so it's called Exponential Growth. Until end of turn, you double creature's power X times. So if I've got, say, 2 forests and 4 mountains out, I can double my creature's power twice, which means the Fireblade Charger goes from 1 to 2 to 4, so he'd be a 4 power creature. So ideally we want to get him out till he's like a 16 creature, right? So we would need, how many would we need for that? We'd need like 10 lands or something like that. So the other problem is that it's a sorcery, not instant, so they'd see it coming. So we got to have some way to get him over there, which is maybe we'd have him with Wings of Hubris on there, or maybe we'd have him equipped with one of these to give him trample, so it doesn't matter. But we'll have 1 copy because we don't want to have 4 copies of this and have it be so cumbersome that it sits there in our hand and we never use it. We have 2 copies of Bone Crusher Giant to do some more damage that can't be prevented. 2 copies of Relic Robber to give them creatures that deal damage to them. 1 copy of Soul Seer to get rid of indestructible things. Barrier Breach to exile up to 3 target enchantments. Broken Wings for artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. And 1 Rada Heart of Keld, 3/3, first striker when she attacks, and we can pump her up for 6 mana to get +X/+X, where X is the number of lands we control. Plus, we can look at the top card of our library anytime and play lands directly from the top of our library. The most expensive spells we have: 1 copy of Smashing Success to destroy a target artifact or land. This is for things like Tergrid's Lantern, which might destroy us in and of itself, or for Faceless Haven or Crawling Barrens, or any one of these Forgotten Realms lands like the one that I'm using now. And we have 1 Transmogrify, so that, say we don't have Kenneth's Transformation or we already used it, and we come up against a really big creature that we just can't handle with our 1/1s and our 3/3s. Then we'll exile that target creature, but they do get to reveal cards in the library until they get another creature card, and that card gets to come out onto the battlefield. So we tend to hold on to this when we can for like emergencies, if we're about to die next turn and we know it. Then we cast a sorcery and hope that we don't exile a bad creature and get an even worse creature. So that's the general idea behind this deck. I haven't play tested it a lot, so this will still be somewhat of an experiment. We're going to take it for a spin and see how well it does against the current decks that are out there. So join me for the adventure. We've got the deck list down below if I went by too fast, or you can just go back and pause whenever I hovered over a certain card and read it to your heart's content. Otherwise, let's speed on through to the battles. Here we go. Our opponent is Larvario, king of all the larvae. I don't like to waste my Death Touchers on shambling guests, but I might waste it on the Lightfoot Rogue. What do we want to get rid of? We'll get rid of the poker hand that was dealt to me. Still gonna take that, because we want to do this to him. And then we'll just attack with what we got. Excellent. Mostly just getting things out of my hand in case he has another discard spell. Trying to see if there's a pattern in here. It's not a pre-made deck that I can tell. That's all it took? Interesting. My hand was empty. No green, which could hurt us. But we do at least start with 3 lands and 1 removal, so it's worth starting. We're going up against Dan. I mean, how hard could it be? We're going to have priority because Barrier Breach has cycling, so we can always spend 2 mana and throw it away. Okay, Team Pennant can come down. We'll just get rid of you now, shall we? This already looks to be like a counter deck, which could be a problem for us, and yeah, that didn't work. He's still... I need 1 extra mana, otherwise the land comes in as a tapped creature. No big deal, we weren't going to use the mana for anything else. Okay, I guess we're going to exile the enchantment now before we can pump it up. Oh, shoot. I don't have any green. I really just hope that he uses his mana for something else then. That is acceptable right now. I could cycle this in hopes of getting a green, but then I wouldn't be able to get rid of the enchantment. And we are not having any luck at all, are we? That's what we get for winning our first match too quickly. Just remember, if you win on Magic the Gathering Arena, and the next turn it doesn't give you any of the mana that you need to cast your spells, that may be a signal that you're not meant to win the next round. Felidar retreat. And he puts that up. We're just going to hang around until he decides which one he's going to do. Okay. That was a tough choice. You did it, though. Proud of you. Proud of you, bro. And, you know, I think I mentioned this the last deck that I played. If the arena's going to do this to you, there should be a little red light up here or something that warns you that it's just going to mess with your mana. And, you know, make sure that your opponent's deck has no problems with land whatsoever and pops off just like perfect mana flow. Look at that. Dragon Sleeve, Dragon Pet. Is this a dragon deck? Oh, Speaker of the Heavens again. Oh, I see this guy so much. Doesn't anybody ever get tired of the Cult Leader? That's very strange. I get to kill 2 creatures. You get some nasty resurrection spells coming up. Because if not, that was a bad move. I see your enchantment class and raise you a goblin rogue. For once, my deck is faster. Didn't even want to wait for anything past turn 3. Seriously. Die. Look at that. Well, I should have known as soon as I had the opening hand with mountains, no creatures, and things that need creatures to work, that things were not going to go my way. A rune crab, really? No. Well, that's not disgusting at all. Did that kind of backwards, didn't you? You laid down all your land first. Seriously, is everybody just gonna quit on turn 3 or turn 4? You could have pumped this up. You could have had a creature with haste. It could have been like an 8/8. Yeah, well, I'll take the win. Here we go. Moving on. All I want is my 2 colors. And they gave them to me. The problem with this deck so far is it either wins really fast or it loses really fast. I'd like my opponents to at least hang out for a couple of turns so I can show off more of the deck. But if they're always going to quit by turn 4, we're going to have some problems. Dead man walking. Ooh. Scared of you. Try that again. Are you kidding me? Turn 3 quit. Why are people quitting on turn 3? He's a 2/2 creature. This isn't even a life gain deck. It's not a mill deck. You can't be frustrated with me already. This is weird tonight. If we get to keep our Caryatid, then we have a chance here. Take that. And that. Mr. 200 card deck. He has an easier time getting lands than I do. That doesn't seem right at all. Could equip one of them with the Vorpal Sword. Who knew? It's going to give him 2 life every turn. So he just gets something that cancels out. What is that, turn 4 again? It's okay. Not sure what it is about this deck, but they're scooping a lot tonight. Now that's a good name, Ultra Soda Pop. I might want to try something like that. You know, Ultra Soda Pop sounds like somebody who likes to have fun. Like somebody who doesn't want to quit on turn 4. What do you guys think? If my deck seems quick, it's because during playtesting, people would kill me fast, so I had to put in things like Bone Crusher Giant to make sure that I had defenses, so I wouldn't die so fast. You can't do that against this guy, right? But let's see, if we do this, we don't have enough mana to equip it. But we don't mind getting rid of Lotus Cobra, even though we might lose a charger. He wants to keep his Cobra, I can't blame him. Cobra can be very useful. We cannot allow that to stand. Ooh.
My God is
Nice combo.
but Oketra's teachings still guide me. Oketra's love is your shield.
Only one problem with that. We don't want to target a creature I control, because that's Bone Crusher Giant, so we'll just do this.
We must find a new strategy.
Oh, close. Turn 5 he lasted. Okay, so how did you like the deck? It didn't turn out the way I envisioned. My whole idea was that I'd be able to get out a Fireblade Charger, maybe get a Mirror Shield around him, and pump him up so I could use Exponential Growth. This card never really got drawn, mostly because we couldn't get past turn 5 most of the time without our opponents scooping on us. So I'm not sure what to do with this deck, because the whole concept was the idea that I could build up a powerful creature, and instead I'm winning with all my 1/1s. We ended up playing like maybe 10 matches tonight or 11, and we won 7 or 8 and we lost 3 or 4. So it's actually got a pretty good winning ratio as it is right now. And the games go over quick, so if you come in and you want to go ahead and get your 15 wins for the day, this might be a good deck for you. I'm not sure how well it would do on the ranked, but just playing for fun, you know what, people don't want to hang around and play against this deck for some reason. Maybe it's the Relic Robber, even though I only have 2 of them. If they're not prepared to sacrifice one of their own creatures or otherwise deal with it, they know that's going to chip away at them. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Sometimes they scoop and Relic Robber's not even there. So it's kind of weird for me to see that happen. But it's also strange for me to create a deck intended to build a very big, powerful creature and really just have a whole bunch of 1/1s steal the show. But I thought I needed that just to survive long enough, like I usually do, because I don't have a ton of removal in here. I have, I think, a healthy balance, and the rest are just like these cheap Death Touch chump blockers. But it seems to be working. If it works for you, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and share this with people, have them play it, see how it feels for them. And we're going to do something different next time, so make sure to come back, because there's always going to be a different deck right around the corner at Tpull's Corner. Have a good one.